When I was 18, I started turning to series to cope with pain and isolation. Sadly, I was not only dealing with my own inner battles, but also with unethical entertainment companies. Can you think of any streaming apps or social media platforms that weren't designed to keep us there forever? I used to believe that as long as I watched good things, it was okay. But now I know that it wasn't about what I was watching, but that I was wasting my time and hiding from my pain and boredom. We can't face life when we're too busy looking at a mind-numbing screen. At the end of this video, I'll talk about AppBlock, Cold Turkey, and Accountable2U. This video has not been sponsored by anyone. Before I go on, I just wanted to thank my husband for allowing me to use his art. You're looking at a painting of me reading a book. I'll add a link to his website where you can buy existing art or prints or commission your own artwork. At 25, I had an aha moment. Why am I watching other people live their lives while I am alone at home? I felt even worse when it hit me that the people in the stories weren't real and neither were their experiences. Ugh, I thought, this is ridiculously stupid. I don't want to spend my life like this. I want to have real experiences of my own. Sadly, we can't change our habits overnight, especially our mental habits. And for me, it took continuous effort and steady progress to eventually break free. At 27, I stopped binge watching completely, and at 29, I basically stopped watching series and movies. I feel a healthy amount of regret when I think about my history with binging. My experience taught me that simply setting goals to stop will never be enough. My goals were useless until I dealt with the truth. God's plan for my life isn't to be entertained and die. At first, I didn't value my time, myself, or my life. So I didn't allow myself to say, "You're throwing your life away on something utterly trivial." It was also not enough to hate binging. I had to learn to love life, ups and downs included. If we don't divorce entertainment, our love for it will make us find ways around whichever tools and support systems we turn to for help. If we cherish life, we'll find ways around our addiction and we'll beat it. If we really only have one short life, then isn't habitually staying home to watch a series stupid and binge watching idiotic? I'm not only concerned about how much time and potential we're losing to make-believe, but also to the nature of digital entertainment. It is a super stimulus that makes real life seem dull in comparison. Entertainment has its place in life, but when it becomes the main thing, it makes us sick because we become immature and weak. I haven't even touched on the content of some series and movies. If you haven't listened to part 1, I explain a bit more about why digital entertainment constitutes a destructive substitute reality. Once we're really deep in, it becomes very difficult to get out. A change of heart can be instant, but to change our character, inner dialogue, and behavior means we'll have to face discomfort and resistance, which can even lead to physiological symptoms like nausea and nervousness. If life is fair, then it requires persistence to get results. If you've spent years turning yourself into an addict, you'll need more than a few weeks of effort to turn things around. You will have to make friends with pain, silence, and discomfort, but at the end, you'll be rewarded with strength and character. It is also really helpful to tell someone you trust that you're struggling. The more you hide it, the harder it will be to tell someone, and the deeper it will draw you in. You may also want to consider a counselor, especially if you're isolated. Although I managed to stop watching series without AppBlocker or Cold Turkey, I wish I used these earlier because I would have saved so much time and mental energy. But I started using these apps to prevent myself from obsessively checking my emails and messages, and that is how I know how useful they can be. AppBlocker is for your phone. You can block apps and pause the blocks, but I recommend using strict mode with the email option. Basically, a friend has to unlock it for you, because it is far too easy to get around a normal block. Cold turkey is for your computer. You can block apps and websites and even use word filters. It is also easy to simply switch off the block, so I recommend letting someone else hold the passwords. You might find yourself finding loopholes every now and then, but stick to the plan and add them one by one as you go. If you're really brave, you can just type in a password at random without looking and be free forever. But if that's too scary, a gentle approach is also valuable. If you're living alone, only using cold turkey and AppBlock might be too easy to beat, and for that reason, I recommend Accountable2U too. Your accountability partner will then be notified by email when you watch a series, and your support system can reach out to you to help. Although Accountable2U is normally used for porn addictions, you can create special settings just for series. Because series are addictive, I suggest watching as little as possible, with never being the goal. If you're afraid of trying the cold turkey method, in other words, stopping all at once, you can follow a softer approach. The first one is 1 hour less each week per day, or you can try the half it each week approach. So, for example, if you currently spend 6 hours a day watching series, the first week will be 3 hours per day. So basically, everything is blocked except for 3 hours, and then 90 minutes the next week, and so on. Sadly, binge watching also leads to antisocial behavior and isolation, which are catalysts for depression. But if you're living alone and you're isolated, the best advice I can give is to get out of your house or to get others into your house as much as possible. If you really want to watch a specific movie or series, make it a social event. In other words, invite friends, and preferably more than one. Have a meal with them and then watch the movie together. Just do this occasionally. The important part is to have social interactions. But I also recommend not inviting just one friend, because if they have the same problem or develop the same problem, you'll end up wasting your lives on the same sofa. I also recommend either getting involved in charity, social events, sport clubs, or hobbies. Simply stopping binge watching won't help. You need to replace your current behavior with healthy alternatives. In short, we need other people. Isolation just really isn't a good idea. If you're currently isolated and passive, you'll have a very hard time not watching series. Instead, put in a lot of effort to find your thing, because binge watching can't be your thing. It isn't a talent, it isn't a skill, it isn't a calling, and it will never give you a true sense of meaning and purpose. Focus on finding your healthy alternative. And no matter how many times we fail, we need to remember that we're fighting for a life that matters. Whenever you fall, shake it off and get back up. Don't beat yourself over the head. It will only make you feel sad, which will probably cause you to want to binge even more. So simply tell yourself, that was bad, let's do better starting right now, and then let it go. I hope this video was helpful to you, and I pray that you will make the necessary investments, be it apps, software, counselors, new activities, or friendships, to save yourself from the hellhole of an entertainment addiction.